Ta-da! Welcome everyone to another episode of FanJam's Talk Show, Netball Talk Show that is, and I'm joined by fellow pundit Kim Garden, and we have a special guest tonight in Kim Ravaillion, Firebirds player, former Diamonds player. Hopefully she'll be back soon in those colors. And of course, wonderful Forbes. How is everyone doing tonight? This
Good.
morning, Colin, you want to start?
I'm I'm good. I'm feeling young. I feel 10 years younger. I'm feeling I'm I'm feeling good.
Is that because Kim is here? Why you're feeling so young?
Well, listen, when you're in the presence of good, of the great, yes, of course, you
Okay,
want to feel
Oh,
good.
I'm blushing.
and how are you?
You're breaking
I
up a
didn't
little
catch
bit.
that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Simone. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Please excuse the mask. I have persons around me, so I hope you can hear me. So
Uh,
that's why I have to wear the mask.
and Kim,
So,
coming to you last. So let me just wave to Romella in the background. Hi, Melda. Thank you for appreciating.
I'm just here as moral support.
Yes, we appreciate you, but don't feel free to throw in some questions or help us out at any way possible. All right.
Cool.
All right.
I have a few for her, so she won't be just sitting there looking pretty.
Awesome. Also, we have the wonderful Kim Ravaillion, and I wanted to go last because I wanted to just expound on who Kim is a little bit more. What many persons don't know, she's the first ever player to represent the Diamonds without playing a club league match before. She was called up in the Diamond squad. Was it 2014, Kim?
It's 2013.
2013.
13, sorry. In
Sorry.
2013, represented Diamonds before ever playing an elite competition. So Kim, that was awesome. Do you remember those days?
Yeah, gosh, they're a while back now, but yeah, I do. Very exciting time. I think I was 19 at the time,
19.
and yeah, I got the opportunity to play for Australia before even playing a national game at all. So that was exciting.
Awesome,
I
awesome.
rem-
Go ahead.
I remembered it well. Because I remembered it well. It was a three-test series here in London, which Australia lost 3-0.
That's right.
I remember that. I remember that game. Coached by the famous Bath coach and Stembridge. Yes.
I'm sure you'd remember that, Colin.
I
Right,
mean, come
right,
on, come
right.
on now.
And he also went
Does the
on.
Pope wear purple?
Well, I don't know.
Kim also went on, guys, to win gold at 2014 Commonwealth Games and 2015 World Cup. And she also helped the Firebirds to um, ANZ title in 2015 and 2016. Awesome, awesome, awesome player. Thanks for joining us, Kim. So,
No,
Kim,
that's
let me
okay.
just jump right in there and let's talk about let's start by talking about your time with the Firebirds. Prior to moving to the Magpies. So you played a few seasons with the Firebirds, and then you in 2017 when they started the SSN, you decided to move over to Magpies, and you played a few seasons there before now returning to um, Firebirds. So what I want to find out from you is what inspired the move to the Magpies the most.
So basically, I had obviously a fair bit of success at the Firebirds, and I guess like any athlete, you're very competitive, and you always want to try and make yourself feel uncomfortable and always strive for greatness. So for me, it was, um, feeling uncomfortable again and challenging myself, and so I was in a very good position to move to Melbourne. I got a very good opportunity to hopefully step outside my comfort zone again, and which I did. So that's what encouraged my move to play for the Magpies, and just to kind of start, in a new environment. And yeah, I just wanted to challenge myself again. I guess that was the biggest thing, because I'd won 2
Mm-hmm.
premierships at the Firebirds, and I was like, okay, what's next? So that kind of encouraged my move. And then I didn't really have all that much success at the Magpies, netball wise, but I guess in life I ended up finding my life partner.
Mm-hmm.
And but I wasn't really enjoying my netball as much. So I guess 3 years later, I got pregnant. I ended up having my beautiful girl Georgie, and then I was lucky enough to get another opportunity to play for the Firebirds again. So, which I was very excited about, because I just wanted to enjoy playing netball again, and even more exciting that I get to do it in front of my little girl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, awesome, Kim. Awesome. And yes, congratulations on the little one. Really, really amazing for you to just have a baby a couple of months ago and you're back playing some awesome netball now. But there's something that you mentioned earlier. You said I guess you weren't so happy while playing in Melbourne with the Magpies. Is there anything specific? I don't know. I don't want to. Is there anything specific why you weren't as happy as you are with the Firebirds?
You can tell he's a Magpies supporter, right?
Yeah, I guess. Does he?
Yeah.
Genuine what? So he wants to get
Romelda.
out the guts. No. I guess I just, when you feel like you're safe in an environment, I guess I just didn't feel comfortable in that environment. I guess at the Firebirds, you always felt like you had a voice, and I could kind of be myself, and I was I was embraced as an individual at the Firebirds. And I guess moving to the Magpies, there were so many big personalities, and I was quite young as well, and I kind of just went back into my shell, and I wasn't myself. So I struggled to, find my gameplay, and I guess that's why I lost the love for it a bit, and that's why I wasn't performing at my best level. And it's funny now being back at the Firebirds, I feel like myself again. I'm comfortable, and I can just play my brand of netball.
So last question before I throw you out to the other pundits. And fans, if you guys are on watching and you have any questions for Kim, you can always place them in the comment. Or if any of you would like to jump on just for a few seconds to ask a quick question, just send your name in the comments as well, and we'll add you. So Kim, the last thing I wanted to ask before I send you out. So you have fed Romelda, Caitlin Bassett, Caitlin Thwaites, Shimona Nelson. What is the main difference in feeding all those shooters? And hold on. So I realize that you have a special connection with Romelda, and obviously it's not only on the court. So is it that you're more comfortable feeding Romelda than the other shooters, or is it easier to feed her? What is it?
I'm very lucky to have this chick at the goalpost. She's a ball magnet. I guess I grew up feeding Diddy, or Romelda. We call her Diddy.
No, which she did here as well.
And when I was younger, she taught me how to feed her, and so I guess that's why our connection is so strong. So I'm most comfortable feeding Romelda. Every shooter is so different. Like Shimona Nelson is completely different to Romelda, and the way that she moves. So you just got to build that relationship, not only on the court, but off the court as well. Romelda and I have a pretty strong relationship away from the court, and I guess that really builds a connection on the court, because you can have those direct conversations out there, and it's never taken to heart. It's purely to make the other person better. So we have that understanding, and I guess that's what makes our connection on the court so strong.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right, Simone, you can have a go.
Yeah, just one quick thing. So you said I am also a new mom.
Yes.
So when I saw, thank you. So when I saw, I'm not so new, but nonetheless, he's one. So when I heard that you were coming back to play, I was so excited for you, and also I know the joy that must give you to be a mom and then to be doing something that you love so much.
Yeah.
So I was really excited when I heard that you were coming back. And then when you touched the court, I was wondering, hold on a second, didn't you just have a baby? How is it for you balancing both?
So there's hope for you.
Yes.
I guess to answer your question,
Yeah.
Simone, I guess it's the support that you have around you. I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing if I didn't have my beautiful mum who's helping me with my little girl. I mean, I'm actually living in different states to my fiance. He lives in Melbourne and I live in Queensland, and I've got my mum up here who's got an amazing relationship with my little girl, and that allows me to take time away and go to training. And I guess the most special part about playing now with a baby when I didn't have one is you're not so much thinking about yourself anymore. It's more the little person that you're trying to show that she can do anything. So I guess that's why I play now, is to show her that she's capable of anything. And, you know, all those little girls out there who have dreams and goals that they can get out there and achieve them. They don't have to be a stay-at-home mum. And so for me, it's just, if anything, it's added to my game, and it's made me not think about myself so much, that selfish element to being an athlete that you have, because you make so many sacrifices. It's more about building up my life for my little girl and my family now. It's all about family.
And I'm sure you're an amazing mom. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
From Melda.
Sorry.
Hi, Kim. Hi, Kim.
Yes.
My question is, I mean, you were thrown in the deep end in 2013 as a young athlete. And one of your trademark, I think, has been your incredible fitness. That was very evident on court, and especially major events like having a child. Again, I've noticed, I've gone on your Facebook page, your fitness Facebook page. I noticed the workouts that you do and stuff. I mean, tell me, what is it like in the journey, your fitness journey? Because it looks, for me, from a person that sits on the sofa and watch, it looks next level. I mean, I'm just gasping for air watching. Could you just share with us what is it like?
Doing fitness, I guess, is an element. You have to have a want to do it. I just love being physically active and healthy. I do have a dad who's overweight, and I guess that inspired me to get into the fitness industry and kind of help people make fitness a lifestyle. It's not something that's a burden or you don't want to do. So I'm trying to change the mindset of making it a lifestyle. It's part of your life. Just like, eating breakfast and brushing your teeth, it's just one of those things that you have to do to make yourself feel better. And if anything, it's a benefit for your life and your health. And so for me, it's really easy. I love doing it. And like my fiance Adam loves it as well. So we even have our own home gym, but it's a part of our lifestyle. So I'm just trying to encourage that and spread the word, and hopefully people can jump on board and make it a part of theirs.
And you have a sister as well, don't you?
Yes, I have a twin sister who's exactly the same as me.
And I've noticed, because I think on some of your videos you've done some workout with her as well.
Yes.
And stuff. So is she a fanatic as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So Jess is a massive part of my coming back to playing netball. She does Pilates and pre and postnatal Pilates. So she does all the inner core stuff, and then I do all the outside, all the big muscle stuff. So we work really well together in creating our fitness programs and making it, good for everyone, general population, athletes, everyone. So.
And just before we go, final question. When you were in that series in 2013, and it was quite an event for the first time anyway, that England has ever won against Australia, and then not only won against Australia, but beating Australia 0. I remembered, of course, the elation here in London and throughout England, but also the, um, let's just say, the disappointment in Australia. I mean, how did you cope with that especially as a young athlete? Some of because social media can be quite cruel too. So how
Yeah.
did you, as a young athlete, cope with that?
Yes, so it was actually a real shock because obviously no one knew who I was, and I was just this
Hmm.
young Kim Ravaillion who come from nowhere and just got thrown into the deep end, I guess. And then it was like this element of the media, and I was like, oh God, people are
Yes.
actually talking about me now. And some of the stuff that I would read were not very nice, but some was very nice. And I guess I learned at a young age how to handle that.
Hmm.
And I guess it did affect me at first because I was like, why are people judging the way that I'm playing? They don't even know me. And I guess I had a chat with a few of the older girls, and they're like, this is just a part of it. This is a part of being an athlete, and it's going to happen. And
Hmm.
they just pretty much told me not to read any of it, and to really just only listen to the people that are close to me. So that's like my family, my friends. And so no one
Hmm.
else really matters. And I think the more you read into those comments, the more it'll affect you. So for me, it was just not reading that stuff and really just
Yeah.
focusing on playing netball. And I was the judge of if I played well or not. No one else was.
I think one of the things you could take away from this, really, despite a lot of people saying not so good things, remember the coach had enough to pick a player that has not even had a National League game to come in. They had
Absolutely.
faith in you. And I think those are the positive things I think one could take away from that and say, you know what? I must be good enough for me to not play a National League game, for me to go
Yeah,
straight in. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
that for me, that was it was a big call. And for me, as a coach as well, why not? Do it. I mean, what a way to introduce the kid. And I think it was a brave move by Alexander. And I think one of the moves that she can actually say in her career has actually paid off, to be honest, because you've turned
Absolutely.
into an exceptional athlete,
Yeah.
and especially coming back from your major event. I mean, who knows where you're going to go now? I mean, the sky's the limit.
Absolutely. I mean, if anyone instills belief in you, you just got to run with it. So and that's what I did.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Tarek, over to you.
Kurt, I know
All right,
Kim
thank you,
has.
Colin and Simone. So
I
there's
know
a
Kim
question.
has to leave so soon, Kurt. Think she has a meeting soon, so she's gonna have to leave. So
Yes,
you
I
can
do.
just, yeah. But there's a question
All right,
first. Go ahead.
there's a question from one of viewer. So Anya is asking Kim, is it a bit frustrating as sorry, she said it's a bit frustrating as fans seeing the constant changes by your coach. How does the constant changes affect your game?
I guess, yeah, I guess early days, she was just trying new combinations. I guess she's also, this is her first time coaching at the Suncorp Super Netball League as head coach as well. So she's just finding the perfect ingredient, I would say. So I think we're halfway through the season now. So literally today we're playing the Swifts again for the second time. And I feel like she's found a bit more stability in the lineup now. So I think over the last two games, she's kind of stuck with the same lineup. So I think now she's confident in that. And yeah, we just need to prove that it works and get out there and play our brand of netball, which you saw against the Lightning. So hopefully we can do that today against the Swifts and every other team we verse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, and get the win.
Yeah. Let's let on the Swifts.
Let's go.
All right, Kim, thank you for joining us. Since you
No
have to leave,
problem.
we won't keep you any longer.
One,
Romelda,
one question for
thank you for
Romelda.
joining us, Melda.
Just one short one. Thanks for joining us, Diddy.
You're very welcome. I'm busy.
Uh, It's not a question. Just telling you that you're doing an amazing job. It's not a question. And we are rooting for you, and we know you are that and then some. And as we call it here in Jamaica, you're a big deal.
She's a big deal.
Yes, it's a big deal. So all the best tonight.
KFC, big deal.
Yes,
Yes.
KFC, big deal.
Peace.
Yeah. And get
Right?
that win. So we have 2 Firebirds and 1 Magpies on the chat right now.
Yay!
Yay.
So all the best, ladies.
So
Thank you.
Romella,
All the
Thank you.
best.
Romella,
Much
I won't let
love.
it go unnoticed as well. I won't let it go unnoticed as well. Last game, Romella shot 40 from 40 in the regular
Yeah.
game, and she also
Yeah.
shot. Was it 2 from 2, Romella, in the super shot?
Miss ya.
Oh, she used to do that
Woo!
more.
Romella, call me crazy. Is it true that you're shooting super shots? Call me
I
crazy.
mean,
Is it
we'll
true?
have to call the fire. We'll have to call the fire brigade. She's on fire.
I know.
I like that one.
So all
Romella?
this talk, all these years about Romella comfort zone being
No,
under the pole. Hello?
Romella, you want to hear me in the house after the first super shot, let alone the second one, back to back.
I
Listen.
know. I
I'm
know.
And the
I know.
third one, Romella,
All right.
I used to, at the start of the season when Romella attempted the first super shot, I was like this. I know I'm like, go for it.
Yeah.
So,
Me too.
Romella, yeah, we love it. We love seeing it.
Yes,
And I'm going to just say it right here, guys. If this is what really shows the standard of player that Romella is. Romella would have noticed. She probably won't say this, but she's been going on the bench in the super shot time, and Romella don't like being on the bench, people. So Romella said, "Okay, is super shot you want? It's super shot you're going to get." Right, Melda?
Get the
Yes.
switch. Hi.
Who is that?
Who is that?
Lara?
Bye,
Hi,
guys.
Lara.
Hi.
Oh,
Bye.
we have a
Bye,
third
guys.
bird.
Thank you for
Bye.
joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Take
Right, we
care,
have to
ladies.
go.
All
But
right.
thank you
Take
so
care.
much for having
All
You're
me.
right,
welcome.
bye.
Thanks
Take
for
care.
being
Thank
here.
you.
See you later.
Bye.
Yeah, that was awesome. Kim, Romelda, and Lara passing through in the end. Good chat with them, Colin. It was lovely having them.
I
You're
guess
looking
it's now
forward to
just
them
family.
seeing them play later.
Oh, absolutely. And I think they're going to take the Swifts. I mean, they've got something to prove now. And I think it's now time to prove it. Um, I think they're rising. They still have a half of season to go. The Swifts look like they're sinking.
And the
So
Giants
yeah,
seem to be.
and the Giants. I mean, the wheel will come to the Giants eventually. That's for sure. And I know exactly where they're going to get them. In what end? We'll find out after the commercial break.
All right, so let's just jump straight into the games that were played last week. So the Giants, they lost to the Lightning 58-52. And let's just talk about Peace Pascova for a moment, because
Ah,
the scores were leveled for the first 3 quarters, and going into the last quarter, Peace came on
And
and
a brilliant
she was
move
exceptional.
by the coach.
mm-hmm.
Brilliant move to bring Proskovia in, who's an old hand at holding, very difficult to mark, and she just laid out Sam Pullman, and Mark handled with care.
But it just also shows the confidence the coach.
Why?
Huh?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you, Simone.
Right. I'm saying it also just shows the confidence the coach has in, yes, it must have been strategic, but confidence in Peace. Peace isn't the
Yes.
starter. Peace couldn't get the start over the other shooter. But then in the most critical moment of the game, the coach is going to put in Peace, where for me the game was on the line because it could go either way. So instead of sticking with your starting shooter, you put on. I was so impressed. I think it's an excellent move, Colin. I too agree with you. And it also meant that the opposing team, the Giants, they were not expecting that. And that for
No,
me was the kicker. Right. So I'm sure they weren't planning for that. So Peace coming in now and throwing everything out of whack just shows that, hey, guess what? I'm here, Peace. Yes, I'm here. I'm a starter. I can start, coach. So
but if you
I was
notice
happy for
though,
them.
but notice there's a different kind of holding as well. It wasn't
Yeah.
just the normal 3 foot, 4 foot. It was actually way up the circle,
And then
really
she just
high up the circle, and then she
and then she
landed
split.
right under the post.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and that killed some Pullman because she didn't know how to deal with. What Sam is good at is trying to go up, and down. But this
Mhm.
type of holding, the Europe, I call it the European style of holding because it requires space behind you,
European style.
and it's the
Jamaican
European
style.
style. No, no, no. The Jamaican takes it at the highest point.
No, no,
The
not all
Jamaican
the
don't need it.
competitors. Not all the
Well, no,
competitors, but
well,
I get what you mean. Yes, yes. It
yes.
depends.
90% of the Caribbean shooters takes it
Yeah.
at the highest point. They don't need the space behind because they can elevate. The European girls needs the space
Uh-huh.
because they can't elevate as much, and as much as people might be throwing things at their screen at the moment, it is the fact that they can't elevate as much. So they require that space, so they have to hold higher to get that ball, that clean lift and stuff, and it
Uh-huh.
worked.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I'm just.
it does. And for me, that's a move. Sorry, Simone. That's a move that I've been waiting from the Lightning for a little bit now. There's some defensive circle that does really well against the moving circle. Giants being one of
Uh-huh.
them,
Uh-huh.
Fever being another
Hmm.
one. So when you have those defenders who play so well on a moving circle, that's the time to bring peace in and say, okay, let's go post up and give the defender something else to think about.
And
Like
at that time to Kurt,
right,
where they really can't do anything about it.
bringing a piece on against like a Thunderbirds, who Shamira's strength is definitely in the air, is probably not a
Uh-uh.
good idea. But somebody like Sam Poolman, who will just work the ground and not don't have like the elevation like a Shamira. You bring on a holding shooter, strong as piece to just come and stamp her floor. So good move from Lightning.
But
So the other game we roll was Magpies versus Vixens. Go
I was
ahead,
going to say
Colin.
quickly. Yeah, I was going to say quickly. Again, just to point out another great decision by the coach there. Um, they were grinding. Amy is one of the best wing defense around, and she was grinding out interception after interception. So with that ball now going directly, bypassing a lot of people,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it cuts her out. So she
Yeah,
has not,
yeah.
you know what I mean? So she has to go
Mm-hmm.
look for ball even further up the court, which doesn't help her cause. And
No.
and, and that's when she got beaten, and then go straight in. That's all.
All right,
You
Kurt.
did miss that one.
Yes.
I missed it. Yes, I absolutely missed it.
Okay, it's okay. Okay, you can watch the reruns.
Yes, it's for the viewers to enjoy. So let's move on to Magpies versus Vixens. Magpies took that one 67-51 against the Vixens. It was a real team effort by the Magpies. The Vixens, they continue
Um,
to struggle.
I mean, is really it.
Yeah,
I mean, I expected that result.
Oh, no,
Maybe not that, maybe not that wide of a margin, but I really expected the Magpies to win. I
and,
honestly, I don't see the Vixens, and this is my prediction, winning any more matches for the rest of the season.
and
Um, Based on how they're performing as opposed to the other teams, but I think it was a good win for the Magpies. Gives boost a little confidence, a confidence booster.
and we were here last Friday when we were previewing that game, and I said, I said, Captain Run's coming up. Ronnie might be in the team, and
There it is.
that well.
There it is.
well, it was a last minute change.
Do you really
It was a
think it
last
was?
minute change.
Do you really think
Huh?
it was the last minute?
It was a last minute
No, I
change
don't think. I don't
because
I
think it
don't
was a
no, no,
think.
no,
last
no.
minute.
Mannix was down to play, and then just before the game, the injury was still flaring up, as they say. So then Ronnie was brought back in.
Yeah,
I think they
well,
were playing a little bit of psychology.
that's what we were told.
Huh? Yes, well, it's a
That's what we were
psychology.
told. All right, so then we saw where a very very confident Thunderbirds team, they took out the Swifts team 58-53, which I think was one of the best performance I've seen from the Thunderbirds so far.
I'm
Well,
wondering
you know
if,
what? Go on, Simon.
no, I'm saying so the Thunderbirds, so like the fever started here and they continue at that level. The Thunderbirds seem to be getting better and better. They kept on getting closer. And that one win
Every
really,
week, yeah.
yes. So then now it appears they're actually getting better every game they play. So I didn't have them in my top 4. I still don't. But if they continue like this, I think they have a chance. But I think it was an excellent game.
Well, for me, again, kudos to Tanya Obbs. And I remember specifically recently we had some comments about Tanya Obbs' performance on social media, saying that good enough, and she's done this. You know what? This thing is working like the rent is due today. She's got a team that is very young, for starters. You've got very young frontline, Nankiville. You've got Georgia Gorgeous. You know what I mean? You've got Paul Gita is still young. People don't remember she's only 25, 26. You know? So she's young. And they're still learning and they're still gelling together. And you can see the work that they've done on that pitch. And to top it off, there is the fear factor of Shamira Stern of Swifts last week. I mean, it was terrifying to watch. Nobody wanted to lift the ball into Sam Wallace. And then all of a sudden, there was this Sam Wallace's knee start flaring up. I don't know whether it was the knee or it gone into the head. Not sure, but something went on. She was at the back. They was trying to get her right to come back on. She came back on. Did she offer anything different? No.
But you know, Colin, Kurt, all right. So for me, that the Sam Wallace factor. Sam has been excellent.
Yes.
Nothing short of excellent every single week. Now, you come to play against Shamira. Yes, I understand Shamira is an excellent player. However, my shooter has been performing. Once I give her the ball, she'll get it. Once the ball is passed, she'll get it. And other defenders are very good as well. It's not just Shamira. The other defenders were excellent as well. However, I come now, and because I'm against Shamira, I'm fearful, and my shooter is tried and proven, and every night he delivers. That's nonsense. I mean, I'm watching the game and I'm saying, give her the ball. Give her the ball.
But you know,
Simone spoken like a true goal attack, Simone, because that's exactly how I felt as well. She was doing the same thing she has been doing every week, but this time the girls weren't just not placing the ball properly, and then they went in them shell and nobody wanted to pass the ball. And I mean,
yeah, but Kurt, if she can't get the ball over, what's the next move? She gonna get the ball?
I'm showing everyone until she catch one, because I'm
exactly. And she moves sometimes.
I'm everyone in until I find that perfect feed, because I'm not. That is the strength of the team, and I said it last week. To beat Swift, you have to take Sam Wallace out of the game, and that's exactly what Shamira did. And most of the time, as you mentioned, it was just the fear factor, because sometimes Shamira was even out of position and to the ball. Crazy, ridiculous.
Yeah, that's.
But even Helen Houseby stopped feeding, and then to add insult to injury, when Shamira boxed her shot out there and said, "Get out my house," I mean, that again compounded the whole thing and say, you know what, I don't want to put them more up because if I do it, she's going to block them again.
Again,
You know, I
kudos.
mean, it was terrifying.
Beautifully. And even after that block, she went and she nailed this shot straight after, and she had no fear. So Helen Hosby, her shooting was immaculate, and I was really impressed by how she stood up. Apart from her feeding to Sam, her play was exceptional in my opinion.
My
Then
thing is,
mhm.
you let Sam fail. So they didn't allow Sam to fail. They
Yes,
retired
yes,
Sam. That's
yes,
crazy. Every week Sam comes and Sam performs. So allow her to not perform. You don't be the one to
yes,
cause.
yeah, yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
saying, what is going through their head?
But we've said this before, Simone. A lot of people we watch this league. A lot of people, millions of people watch this Suncore league. And when you look at it, the way Australian players are coached, they're not allowed to think on their own. They are programmed. Okay, so it's unlike, say, let's say which country I would use now. Let's just say like the English players. The English players would then say, okay, would be given that free range to say, I can do this on your own, think on your own, do that. The Australians are told when to cross the road, when to put one foot in front of the other, when to go to the toilet, and how many cubes of paper to use. That's how they've been trained that way,
And
and it's
they've been
almost like they can't do anything else apart from listen and execute.
so, but hold
Sad.
on there. So I don't know if it's sad because if that is how they're coached and they're number one in the world, then we need to look at it. We need to start
Yeah, no, no,
coaching.
no, 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 no. But sometimes look at some of the best players who have played in the world, like some of the best goal attacks.
Simone
Um, um,
for
uh, um, right, you would do things on your Simone.
Yeah.
You would do things on your own. You understand? You would go and do things on your own.
yeah,
Connie Francis did it. Belinda Collin did it on their own.
Jamaican.
Yeah, they did it on their own. They said, okay, this is how we're going to do it, because this is what I'm feeling. So this is
Yeah,
what I'm going to do and get her. You understand?
yeah,
So why can't sometimes, I'm not saying that discipline is a bad thing,
right.
that they shouldn't follow their instruction, but sometimes you've got to be
You
able
need that.
to
You
step
need
out of
that.
the script.
Yeah,
Yeah, you need to
yeah,
step out of the script a little bit
yeah,
and say,
yeah.
no, this is what I am actually feeling on the court at the moment. This is what she's doing to me. So
And
this is
if
what I need, how I need to respond.
it's not working, so I need to change it
Absolutely.
and make that decision as a player on the court, a goal attack, wing attack, whatever it is. The coach can give instructions.
But
It's something
Kurt,
I say, and it's something I say all the
if
time. You get instructions, you go out there, you follow instructions. But if what you're told to do is not working, then you, as the player, need to change it and
but
try
it's
something
like
else.
this. It's like when in the 2019 World Male Tournament, I was marking a particular goal attack, and I was doing a Joe Weston. Who is from Melbourne Vicks? She catches the ball and she covers you, and I was covering a particular goal attack, and I said, because you know what, that goal attack is not going to be. I'm not going to allow that goal attack to manipulate the circle as they want. So all I was doing was covering the goal attack to stop them running across the circle.
And this is
Yeah,
who, Kurt?
I think Kurt. Can you remember? Kurt, can you remember that? I think he's lost his connection.
I don't know what is wrong with this connection tonight.
I think he's lost his connection, but I think he will know when he hears this again.
He's gone. Colin, you're rolling. I
Right,
think. I
so
think.
arms over the ball like this and stop them
Conversation.
from manipulating. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
up to that goal attack to find the solution to get across
Exactly.
that circle to say, okay, I'm a younger, I am a faster goal attack. So I'm going to cut circle and I'm going to, you know, I think it's back now. Kirk, are you back with us?
Yes, I am. Sorry about that. So you were asking
Right. So yes, I was asking about a scenario in 2019's World Game Tournament when a particular goal defender was marking a particular goal attack and was doing the Joe Weston, where we were covering the goal attack, so the goal attack could not see behind to feed into their very, you know, agile goal shooter, so to speak. So can you remember that scenario?
I remember it, yes.
And to stop Simone, this is where we're going with this.
Colin was on fire, Kurt.
Just to stop the goal attack from running across the circle to pull one off so that they can go in.
I can't see Colin doing that to me at all. I wonder who that goal attack is.
Simone. Let me tell you something.
I think we need the video evidence.
Yes, I think so too.
My ribs still hurt.
Oh my God.
Well, guys, Simone, if you can't get it, beat it.
Yes.
But nevertheless, Simone, unlike the Swiss players, I was still finding ways to get the ball into the shoot, and we won the game. So let's move on to the next game of the road, which saw the Firebirds went down.
I can't breathe. It's too much.
All right, Colin, let's focus. So the fever, they were off to a shaky start against the Firebirds, and for a few minutes in the match, we thought, wow, the Firebirds being a boogie team for the fever over Suncorp history, because they have only beaten. This was only the second time they're beating the Firebirds. We were like, wow, what is going to happen here? Is the fever going to get their first defeat of the season? Sorry, but
Kurt,
then
I was just.
Colin, you see, and I'm going to give Stacey Marinkovic some credit here, because I was sitting on my sofa watching the match, and I said to a netball group that I'm in, well, Sasha Glasgow is not doing much wrong, but the Firebirds' unit defense was really covering the attack of the Fever, so they needed a goal attack to come in who would offer more movements, so they should pull Glasgow, bring Alice Steganil on, and just as I said that, the change was made, and it was the best move of the game.
But you know what, Kurt? I was a bit disappointed by Firebirds' performance, and I'm going to tell you why. Last year, who beat the Fever last year? Firebirds. Who was the team that beat the Fever? Absolutely. And with a weaker team than they've got this year. Because this year they're stronger. And with a weaker team, they've beaten the Fever last year. So, you remember we spoke about this recently when we said coaches coach what they know best. So Megan is an attacking coach, whereas Rosalie Jenke was a defender down. And you could almost sit on your sofa and feel the suffocation. I almost was asthmatic sitting there watching the suffocation last year from Firebirds as they swamped the court and no ball to Fowler. No ball could get to Fowler. I mean, yes, it did, but you know what I mean? It had to work its way to get there. And they beat them, and beat them good and proper. What this year, I mean, for me, no. I mean,
yes.
Fever's frontline was too loose.
Fever frontline was too loose, but Colin, as I said, it didn't start it loose. It was just the injection of Alice Steganil, and they just couldn't find her, in my opinion.
I agree. But last year, the defense through the court, you must admit, was stronger, and tougher, and they couldn't penetrate as much as they did. And this time they were allowed to come through the court and put ball up to Janelle. And Janelle is now strutting her stuff. And a lot of people are still saying no, Janelle is the best goal shooter in the world by a country mile.
Hands
And
down.
period of
Another
discussion done.
another thing, Colin. Another thing that stood out to me. I don't know if anybody this. Gemma Mai was having the game of her life. She was leaving Stacey Francis in the wilderness. She was hitting circle edge like nobody's business. Did you notice that?
Yes.
And then
Yes, she was.
And then come halftime, she was pulled by the Firebirds coach. So I'm still concerned about Megan's decision making.
You know what? We'll find out after this second half of the competition. Because sometimes you use one half to find out, the best combinations. And will she have enough to take her to the up in the fourth place? Yes, she'll have enough games to do so. But it starts tonight.
But one whole half, though, Colin.
Well, some coaches do things differently, unfortunately. You would do things differently. Kurt would maybe do things differently. I would do differently. So she
remember
obviously.
Yeah, but she's playing against very, 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 very good teams. So you have to be mindful of that as well.
True. But that's the way she conducts her business. So we as fans have to run with it, although it's painful. I mean, I have to dose up on paracetamol to watch. But it's all part of the journey.
Well, as I said, let's see what the second half of the season bring, and that starts tonight.
It starts tonight.
When the Firebirds face the Swift. The last time they met in round 1, it was the first ever game in Sun Cup Super Netball history to be decided in extra time. Based on the progression of these two teams over the first half of the season, are we expecting a similar result?
No. One team will win.
Okay.
The Firebirds.
The who?
The Firebirds.
I call in.
I'm going with the Firebirds. I'm hoping everything is gonna come good tonight. I know Kim Ravaillion has a good connection with Romelda. I remember when she started playing with Romelda, she only wanted to see a piece of Romelda's skirt. Because when they cover her, all she wanted was to see a piece of Romelda's skirt, not even her head top, just piece of her skirt, and she threw the ball in that direction. And she got the ball, and the ball got there. Huh?
I would man Boeta on the bench though.
That's all right. That's the good thing about Romelda though, Colin. As Ryan said, she's a ball magnet, and what I love about Romelda's game compared to other tall shooters is like her body angle is always showing the feeders where she wants the ball. When she stays in the circle, she's always giving excellent body positioning, showing where exactly she wants the ball. And for some reason, she's perfect at getting those defenders behind her. And then as it relates to Boeta, I do agree the superstar needs to be rested on the bench.
Yes.
Than back player.
She needs to sit beside the coach today.
Yeah, man, and they have a good conversation.
Yeah, man. Kurt,
Thank you, Sim.
I have on a mask because I'm around other persons. I'm sorry. So that is why I have on a mask. I do apologize. But Kurt, about that Romelda and positioning, and I say it all the time. Janelle, excellent shooter, big target, they can reach her. But for me, the shooter I love playing with the most is Romelda. And the shooter I would choose any day to play with is Romelda. I know why. For that same reason you said, Kurt. Romelda, there's no... she's getting it. It don't matter where you put it. She's getting it. She's giving you something. When she go to Australia, I cannot change the clan. She add like something. Nothing wrong with that. Because, you have to be versatile. But she's a big target. And when it passes bad, she's getting it. She's going to position because she learned over time. So when you start, that's different. You're young and thing. But after you get it, Romelda for me is that one shooter where when I'm watching, especially when she's playing with the Firebirds and Boeta is just getting in her and I'm like, Get out of the way. Like you could win,
Right.
they could win some of these matches.
I mean, you're a
Easily.
superstar in this circle. Romella is the real deal.
Yes. And
Like,
once you get it to
But
her, you're gonna win. So don't
yeah, because
go.
Romella is unstoppable. And
Oh
if
my
you
gosh.
notice, even playing against Fever, Courtney Bruce didn't win any ball directly off Romella
She can't win it.
because she can't. So if their game plan was to just get the ball to Romella, then I mean they would be just as hard to beat as the Fever. But for some reason they have other ideas. So let's just to add to that, though, Simone. So you see, Romella and Fowler, they're two different athletes, and I get it. I agree. Romella has better body position, but the reason, I mean, you can't throw any ball give Fowler and she go and catch it as well, and she don't need body position because she's so physically strong to go and get that ball. So I mean,
and that's why for me going forward for Jamaica, if Jamaica does not get to the Commonwealth Finals, then we need to have a look at defunding the entire netball Jamaica. We need to defund the whole thing because I'll tell you why. Because they have the ingredient, and when you look at Jamaica, have two of the best shooters in the world. So if when we're playing certain big countries, we have one that they find more difficult than the other.
Yeah.
Like for instance, when we're playing England, they hate Romelda because Romelda is difficult. Because not only is she mobile, she can elevate, and that's dangerous. And it's harder to get into her head than Janelle's. Because remember the Commonwealth semifinals, again. So, some of the crucial errors came in the attacking area. Was it because of bad passing? Was it bad decision? There's a lot of things in the attacking area. And I've always felt if they had changed the shoot at the time and brought on Romelda, maybe they would have been where England is today. They would have won that. Huh?
Janelle was almost flawless in that game. She shot 100%. She was unstoppable. As a coach, it wouldn't even cross my mind to pull Janelle from that game. She made one mistake in the last 5 minutes of the game. Got a bit frustrated and she ended up missing a shot. She ended up missing a shot. But I mean, she's only human, and that's the difference. I mean, Simona, coming back to the difference between her and Romella as well.
Well, I want to add something before you go. It's not that Janelle. So I would love to play with Janelle, and I enjoyed playing with Janelle as well. For me, it was at the time. Remember, I retired 2011. For me, so both are imposing shooters. Both can deliver. Romella will miss more than Janelle, but I'm not even looking at the shot and miss ratio or percentage. I'm not looking at that at all. Romelda is going to get the ball because we had a tendency of throwing away the ball on our bad passes. We're not very good at passing lobs. That's a given. So a lot of the balls Romelda had to save. Now, he saves them at the time better than Janelle can because Romella is more flexible.
Yeah.
So it's not that. So you're right. Janelle is flawless, and Janelle is the number one shooter in the world. But if I'm
by a country mile.
Yes, there's no doubt about it. But I'm looking at the overall. I'm not looking at them as just the shooters. I'm looking at who they're playing with.
Absolutely.
So that is how I'm looking at it. Not one-on-one. I could never do that. They're the two best.
Okay. And Simone,
Following
so
me? Yes.
Put that pass in the lob, so you need a perfect shooter to catch it. But I'll work with Janelle because I can place them very well.
No. I can place them very well, but I'm not the only one playing. No, and I can place them, and I've taught you how to. All I'm saying is.
I'm done.
No, all I'm saying is he and I are not the only two. We have two others in addition to defenders.
Yes.
So it's not that, no, there's no doubt about Janelle being, but I'm with Colin though. You have the two of them. You have to do your homework. Who am I going to play with? Again,
Yes.
who is the best shooter to fit in this 7 to play against England
Yes.
as opposed to play against New Zealand. So that is how, as a coach, I would look at it. But in terms of
Yes.
Simone now, you know what I'm saying, Kurt. How to pass
Right.
love. I don't.
So that Romella has the capacity to actually be the best shooter in the world, because as I said, her body angles, they set her apart, but it's just her effectiveness. So you'll see Fowler catch the ball at probably midway and Fowler just turn to the post and shoot it, or she just step it. Romella might decide to make another pass, and
Yeah.
up losing the ball. So it's just those little things that set them apart. So, but let's move on.
Before you go, quickly, Carl, before you go on, number 1 is Janelle. Let's not forget, Romella is right there at number 2. No matter what other people say, Romella is right there at number 2.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Even when she's not in her base.
Yes.
She's number 2, right there.
And Jamaica has 1 too.
The
Colin,
end.
last thing before you move, Kurt. Last thing, I promise. Colin, you said Jamaica has the ingredients to be the finalists or something to that effect. But you said we have the ingredients. We don't just have it.
Go to the.
We don't just have it. We have the same ingredients in the pot, in the cake for a couple of years now. So
We just need to cook it.
There you go.
So somebody in the comment, Dave Brown, he made mention to the mid-court. Since we're on Jamaica, we're just going to divert a little bit. So he made mention to the mid-court, and that our mid-court needs some. Well, he didn't say structure, but he said we need some solid players in the mid-court. Is it that we don't have the players or the structures that are being taught?
I think
it's the structures.
Yes, I think we have excellent players. I think we have some very good, talented players. For me, it's not only the structure, because the structure means you're putting it together. So that encompasses what the structure is. For me, the mid-quarters need a little more than just structure. They need a lot more work. And if you look at it, our center or defenders and our shooters, they're the ones who play at this level, at the competitive level in Australia, in terms of in the leagues. They are getting week in, week out game competition against the top defenders and shooters in the world. And these are the persons they're going to come and play against when you go to the major championships. Our center court players are very talented, but they're not exposed to this kind of competition day in, day out. So when they come back together, it's almost like you have a cake and in the middle flat because of some missing ingredients, and it's the middle that drop. That is what is missing, I think, from Jamaica. So we have the talent, all 3 areas, but the 2 ends are getting the competition and getting the constant work that they need in terms of games. The middle not getting it. So structure alone, I don't think is sufficient to fix our middle. We have the talent, we have excellent players who can do it. I don't think that is sufficient.
Simone,
yes.
All right. But let me just respond to Dane. So Dane Boucher is on here, and he's saying that we need some height in our mid-court, and I've heard that before many times, and that's where I think Jamaica. We keep going. We keep getting it wrong, because if you look at the best mid-quarters in the world, starting with Laura Langman, who is now retired, I look like a tall ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Kelsey Brown, Laura Sherian.
Rob, Kim.
Even Kim Ravaillion.
Okay.
And we could go back further and speak about the great Temple or George.
Let's go back to 2007 with some of the best Australian midcourt, the Van Berto sisters.
Right.
Or in Jamaica, they call them Van Bertouche. But the Van Berto sisters, small. But you know, my mother always said it's not the size of the gun, it's the effect from the bullet. Okay? So we need to teach our girls how to do center pass structures, how to go to a center pass. What do you do when you get the center pass? Who goes into second phase? What do you do from the second phase into third phase? And those are the things that Jamaica needs to work on. And if they get them right, I mean, because the last Commonwealth semi-finals, Jamaica was losing. Jamaica was winning by 6 or something, 6 or 7, and they allowed England to come back. And where did England attack them? In the mid-court, because they knew that's where the fitness was and where they're more likely to be broken. And they broke. You see,
Well,
so we need to teach.
So to answer Simone, no, the mid quarters, the girls, they are here all year round, and they don't have the goal shooter. Usually the goal attack is here. Listen to me, it's no excuse that they're not playing overseas or whatever. If we're going to employ a coach to get them to the big stages, then even if the girls are not playing in the big leagues, the coach should be able to simulate that kind of environment here in the training and get them ready. And if it's even to teach them to carry on the ball to circle age, and then when Ravaillion and Fowler come, you put it in, because you don't need right from the circle edge. So I don't think that could
no, but hold on, guys. You're missing something though, Kurt. I agree with you, but remember, this is a new coach, new enough last year. So what we now have is a different
coach. No, we know, because
no, man, I know. I'm just saying it's a different chef. So everything that we're looking to happen now, hopefully it will now with a new coach who is now working.
Hopefully,
right. So let's this is what we need. I know they're working very hard in training on different skill mid court stuff, because it's only mid court there anyway. So let's just hope that we can all put it together when the time comes.
All right. So I mean, Jamaica will be playing a series in September, October against South Africa and Trinidad, a home series. So I'm sure we'll be back talking more about the Jamaican team, guys. So
yes.
But let's go back to Suncorp now, because Giants will be coming up against. They got the edge over the Thunderbirds by 11 goals the last time they met, but it's a different Thunderbirds team now. Who will win, Colin?
You know what? I'm going to clutch my pearls, and I'm going to say I'm going for the Thunderbirds.
Me too.
Because I think the key battle is going to be Mademoiselle Sterling versus Mademoiselle Harton. Mademoiselle Harton is still a little bit, how would you say, in the French would say, malade, sick, a little bit hurting still from previous events that happened 3 or 4 weeks ago, maybe. A little bit un petit malade. So I think she's having that hangover from that. And I think the Thunderbirds, they are now on a rise. You know, they are on the trajectory. Yeah.
Momentum is a funny thing in sport. Wave. I'm going to tip them for the win as well. Plus, I need them to win so Magpies can be like.
Absolutely, I do too.
All right, so guys, you might be looking at the fixture and wondering, well, you would be seeing 4 games across round 8, but however, for round 8, Suncorp will be splitting the round, so 4 teams will be having a bye week. So we'll only be having 2 games this weekend. Another 2 from round 8 played next weekend. So yeah, it's a split week for the competition, so the players can get some rest and recover for the second half of the season. So that's it for the Suncorp competition. So we're going to jump right over into the Vitality Super League. We were excited to have Kim Borger here tonight with us, but she, last minute hiccup, she's unable to make it. We apologize for her, but guys, she promised she'll be back another time, and she'll be bigger and better than ever, and she'll probably have some surprises for you guys. So Colin, I want to jump straight. I know Rhinos is your team. And guess, viewers, I want you to tell me how you feel about this. So Rhinos just secured 4th spot. They had some COVID in their camp, Colin, and you'll explain to the viewers for me more about this. They had COVID in their camp, and they were able to play their fixture, and now they were automatically given 6 points, which will take them into the semifinals without having to play their last 2 games against Pulse and Celtic Dragons. Viewers, tell me how you feel about that in the comments. And then, Colin, you can just explain to me more how that process works.
Well, you see, it boils down to one thing again, Kurt. What we said about winning your matches when you need to win them, and and they won them in the first round against these two teams, and they got the points. So the commission took that decision to award the points purely on the decision of the first match, because of the current situation that we're in. So. Is it the right decision? You know what? We can sit here and discuss that all day. But I'm going to run with the commission on this. And really, I back England netball and things. But tonight, I am backing them and say, you know what? Right decision. I would have loved to see them, though, to be honest, coming up against London Pulse. Because for the last couple of games, London Pulse has been on the rise as well. And they're doing extremely well. So it would have been good to see how they pitched up against them. However, the decision has been taken. I'm sorry?
But Kurt, from what I heard...
Not hearing me?
I'm hearing you now. From what I heard...
I'm hearing you now.
Hello?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Let me just exit and come back.
So Colin, but from what I heard though, it wasn't a decision that was just made only now when the COVID case is here. I think I heard, I could be wrong, that it was from earlier that they said if there's COVID, because remember COVID is here. If any of the teams, if they're exposed to COVID, then the points, the missing matches, the matches that they will miss, they'll get the points from the previous rounds that they would have played these teams. So it wasn't a case where, COVID is here now. What are we going to do? It is more, okay, what if COVID happens? Back in the beginning, what if COVID happens? How are we going to deal with it? And I think that's when the decision was taken that this is how it would be awarded. The win would go if the last game they played this team, they won. If they had lost it, if Rhinos had lost, they would not have gotten the points.
So Simone and Colin. So I'm
not torn.
I'm just a little regular player now, and I'm here and I'm playing my ass off to try and get in the playoff. So I'm a Mavericks player, and I'm a Sirens player, and I'm a Wasps player, right? And then now, Colin mentioned that Pulse is on a rise, and we'll speak about it at the moment. But Rhinos, COVID is actually in their camp. So somebody from their camp went out and
you don't know.
Well, I don't know, but it's in their camp.
Right.
Their camp alone.
Wasp, I hear there's COVID in Wasp as well.
Those tests came back negative. Right. Okay. So Rhinos is the only club with COVID cases. And for me, that would suggest to me that either the players, the managers, or somebody went out and caught COVID and brought in the club, right?
Okay.
So for me, they were now rewarded with 6 free points to move into the semi-final for going out and get COVID. Someone in the Sirens or somebody should have done the same.
No, Kurt, but this was a decision that was taken from the beginning. If COVID happens and if somebody catch COVID, then this is what will happen. So everybody agreed to this from Wapikil Phillip.
Right.
So if this now happens, right, you'll be disappointed. Any player would be disappointed. Any other teams who have a chance of going through, if this never happened, would be disappointed. But
right,
so I'm
disputing that, and I'm going down that road to say, is it a rule that should stand, or is it something that we think they should review going forward?
Sir, I think it should stand.
No, Kurt, we're in very in precarious times.
Yeah.
Here, and you know what? They had to make a decision, and I actually believe it was the right decision. It may be annoying to some, like Mavericks and Wasps. They would be there biting themselves. But you have nobody else to blame but yourself. There are matches that you should not. How can you beat Teambath on one day and then you end up losing the next day? Come on. Don't let me rip my shirt off.
No,
Hold on, Colin.
no.
Keep your clothes. Let's slow down a bit because this is what I'm saying. In my opinion, they. If I was setting the rule, I would say if your club go out and get COVID and come back, then you'd forfeit the games you have remained in.
But you don't
But you don't
know
know
the
how the transmission was
circumstances.
done.
Right.
Well, it's not. Well,
You
it's
don't know
not
how
the
the
club. It's
transmission was done.
It
But
could
it's
be
your
that.
club had it,
No,
regardless.
but you
Just
don't
like
know
FIBA is
how.
paying a penalty for something that the players didn't directly do.
Uh-huh.
If there's an incident like that in a club, the club must bear the pain.
So why put the rule
No,
in place?
no,
Hold on, Colin. 1 second.
no.
So why put Kurt? If that is the position, you can't take that position that's moving the goalpost in the middle of the game. You make a decision from the beginning that no matter what, if COVID is present, then this is what we're going to do. Now that it happens, it can't be a case where your club go get it. So you have to forfeit. No, because you don't know under what circumstances the transmission happened. So you just have to follow what the rule is. One
So
club
that's
can
what I'm
say,
saying. Oh, and remember, I'm not disputing what happened. No, I'm saying at the start for maybe next season, could they review the rule? Because I'm not sure if, because based on how Pulse is playing, and let's leave Rhinos right now, based on how Pulse is playing, we could possibly see an upset.
yeah, but you can't think about the pulse. You have to think about what happened at the beginning, and everybody agreed to it. All the clubs had to agree, So everybody agreed. So no matter how Pulse look, no, the rule is the rule. So
And
it's just
I'm saying I'm
unfortunate.
fine with it. No, we can't. We
Yeah,
can't
it's just
Sorry
unfortunate.
for Pulse. I'm actually sorry for Pulse.
Yeah. So
I'm
for the
very sorry for
future,
Pulse, but
for the future, I wouldn't change it. Like I don't, because you don't know what circumstances the transmission happened. It could be anything. It could be somebody delivering the food to them and pass it. So you
absolutely,
don't know.
absolutely.
So, but I wouldn't change it. That's just me. And I would still award the point depending. What it does for next season, it forces the teams to make sure they win the games that they need to win and don't leave it up to
Absolutely.
chance. So it's on
And you
you.
know, and you know what? For me, Pulse are like the Adelaide Thunderbirds of this
They're
competition.
getting
They
better.
were on the rise. They're coming together nicely. They've got a lot of young players, especially the young superstar Fumi Fidejo.
Oh yeah.
Who's an exceptional big young talent. They've got Oliver Tijin, again, exceptional young talent coming through, part of the England Futures program. Really good. They've got Ratu, again, another nice, solid centre court player. They've got so many good little young players coming through. But you know what? This gives them hope for next season. So they keep this group together, start their preseason early, get stuck in, and get ready to go. They will have a better. But the team that I'm not sorry for is Wasp and Mavericks. You have the ingredients, you have everything there. What you lacked was Gordon Ramsay. You did not have a good cook. And if you don't have a good cook, your meal is going to end up sour.
So let's
The
just take a
end.
appreciate the work. And I know there have been a lot of controversy around this player. Help me with their first name, Radaman. Ladarif, Radaman.
Lefebvre
Thank you,
is
Colin.
French.
Thank you, Colin. So Radaman, she has been over the last few weeks, and I remember when Sam Bird was on here, we questioned her about why we weren't seeing more of Radaman. But since Radaman played the game immediately after this, so I think Sam Bird is thanking us for our advice. And since then, she has been a real revelation, and she has been a standout player. So of course, showing a little bit of controversy. So she's not going down on the knee for the Black History celebration thingy. Do they sign her back next season?
Woo! You know what? This is gonna be it's a controversial one. It has to, for me, it would depend solely on the atmosphere in the camp for me. So the players, and we have a lot of black players there, and if the black players, if it's something that was discussed, because we don't know, we still don't know.
Right.
If it was discussed amongst the players to to say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to take the knee, but this is my view on things. You know what I mean? But I'm just speaking for myself, personally for me, as a black individual. As a black individual who have been in a couple of England teams, who have traveled, who have not, I've been like the only black person on it and stuff. So the environment, what it's like, what it was like then and stuff. But for me personally, it would be a big decision. It would be down to the players for me. It would be a very big one. How did they cope with her? Was her explanation good enough? Was she trying to learn about why these things are happening? It would be a lot. It would be a lot. It would be a lot.
Viewers, thank you, Colin. Viewers,
and if they don't sign her, take Giselle Allison.
Anyway, guys, viewers, you can tell us how you feel about that. I'm sure you all are netball fans and you are up to date with the whole Radaman situation. So, if you were Sam Bird, what would be your headspace at the moment? And then, so we're moving on also, Colin. So you spoke about Wasp and Mavericks, and I was coming to that, and I'm really liking your timing tonight because you're helping me to lead right over the other discussion. So you spoke about
that's why they signed me.
Congratulations. So you spoke about Wasp and Mavericks, and I'm sure they are disappointed enough about not making the top four, and a lot of fans are, especially Jamaican fans, with Giselle being at Wasp. So you said that they have the ingredients, but they don't have the cook. And we're going to start with Wasp. And let me just lay some things on the table first. So Wasp started the season with a starting 7 in mind, which included their captain, who left them midway through the season pregnant. Congratulations to her. Then their replacement player, Iona Christian, she slotted in and she was creating havoc in that midcourt. Boom. She rolled her ankle and she was out for the rest of the season as well. And they came back from all that and they fought right to the end, and they just, some missed shots cost them the game in that the game that must-win game against Mavericks that they lost. Tell me, do you, with all those misfortunes, are you still saying it's the coach, the cook, as you call it?
Well, you know what? Okay, let me have to take the glasses off for this one.
Yes.
Because, I just need to be free. I'm saying here, I'm going to use an example. Let us look at London Pulse. Now, if you look at London Pulse and Wasp, and you're going to put them against each other, pound for pound, Wasp would weigh heavier in the talent department. Okay? But in my opinion, when you watch Wasp and you watch London Pulse, there's a clear distinction with game play and game management and game strategy. It's just clear. It's very clear. Now, with Wasp, again, it's down to loyalty. They're very loyal to Katie Harris. Now, in the modern netball era, we have a lot of what we call analysis work being done. So people go home and they look at you and see whether you like pork or you like chicken or you like fries with mayonnaise on top. Huh? So they know everything about this girl. Okay, so she was one of the ones that was very easy to shut down and stuff. And when they brought Alison on, it was clear as day. Stevie Wonder could see this, that when Giselle Allison was on, Rachel Dunn had a field day. Rachel Dunn was allowed to do more stuff. She actually is like a weight has been lifted off her. Then why not pursue this? Why not run with it? Okay? They kept putting her Allison in, Allison out, Allison in, Allison out. And for me, it was poor coaching. And this is my opinion. And I know millions of people across the world at the minute are throwing things ferociously at their television, but I'm going to stick with what I say because I am big enough and I'm good and my body's built for wear and tear, and I'm going to say it. It was bad coaching, and bad coaching cost them. And I want to see netball get to a point where we are at football. If you don't perform, the chief executive calls you in at Monday morning and have that chat. By Monday lunchtime, your desk is cleared, making way for the new coach. That's what I want to see happen in netball.
All right,
And
Colin.
the phone goes wild.
Right. So, Colin, I remember this. You have a famous line that you said, "We'll see how good you are." Like T-Bag, we'll see how good you are when dipped in hot water. You remember that line you used?
Absolutely.
Yes. So, in that game against Mavericks, 2 minutes to go, Giselle was dipped into the hot water. What did you make?
But listen.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you pick up a girl from the Caribbean, and it's very evident that she was not a goal attack. She's a goal shooter. But she has a lot of attributes that work well for your team. So immediately you're going to embark on a program to elevate this girl's skill set and get her to where she needs. So a lot of movement outside, teach her a lot of video analysis. You do things with her that she's never been exposed to get her to there. Not chuck her in the game, and then when she has the ball, everybody run away from her, and then they call hell ball, and then they blame her for it. No, you know what I mean? And also, Kurt, what about a little bit of a set play? Huh? Goal attack, wing attack, goal shooter, a little set play, basic stuff. Huh?
Yeah,
Come
Colin,
on.
just saying. So basically, you're saying that sometime you have to do a little extra preparation with the tea bag before you put it in the water. So you make
Absolutement.
our season. All right, I'm going to come back on. So let's move over to the
You
other
have to
team.
dust it off, Kurt. Sometimes you have to dust off the tea bag before you put it in the water.
Okay, probably
Oh,
so
yeah.
condense or sweeten it a little bit before you put it
Yes,
in. All
yes.
right, Simon, coming over to you, Colin. Thank you for that. Those words on what. So, Simon, I'm coming over you now. We're going to Mavs and we're going to talk a little bit about the cook at Mavs. So, Mavs, they come one day and they played brilliantly. They knocked Bath out of the water for the second time this season. The only team to beat was, not was Bath, might I add,
Bath.
Simone. And then they come tomorrow and, I mean, when they played Bath, they look so structured, so organized, so they just started and they have done this against other teams as well, you know. And then they come tomorrow and it's like a completely different team, like so again, I want to ask because for me, I want to ask you, or is it the players just not performing?
All right. So I think it's a little bit, it can't be just the players. If you remember, Kurt and Colin, the first time Mavericks beat Bath, they lost the next game. And I think it was who was it? Sirens? Right. So, and at that time, they were leaps and bounds ahead of Sirens. So the first time they played Bath, beating Bath, they lost to a much lower team than Bath. Then here we go now. Game 2 of Team Bath. They beat Bath. Now, me as the coach, I'm not going to ever forget that game that we lost the day after we beat Bath the first time. So I'm going to remember that Sirens lost. And then now I'm going to prepare my team for tomorrow's game. So, and to move forward, they have to remember what was, yeah? And what was a loss. Now, I would love to know how the coach prepared her team. Clearly, they're on a high. They're riding a high. Bath, second time they're losing, and they're losing to us. But they were riding that same high before, and they lost. How do I prepare them? So for me, it starts with the coach. That it starts with the cook and the cook and other management personnel. So for me, it's now more than just playing, it's now the psyche. because I want to ensure that when they go on the court, yes, and of course I know they were nursing injuries as well. But even with that, I think they are much better than the Pulse. And so it should not have been a case where they lost the next day. So for me, it was not just the players, the cook had a hand in it. And I think I probably a bigger hand than the players in the preparation of the game. So that's how I feel. Because remember, they lost the same thing. The same thing happened. So it can't just be the netball. No, it can't just be on court and the playing. It had to have been something else, which is, I think, where the coach came. Coach and other personnel, of course.
All right. So both of you are teaming up against me tonight because I'm going to differ on this. I might not be for it, but I can manage wear and tear. So for me, when you look at Kat Nepal on the sideline, you can see the frustration on her face. And I'm a Mavs fan, and I feel it as well. And I watch the Mavs game with a lot of interest. And the structures are there. If you look at how they turn over ball, it's nothing a coach can fix. It's not their structures. It's just simple decision making, which there's nothing the coach can do about that. I mean, and the coach, to me, she has tried everything. She has tried changing. She mixes up her lineup. She tries everything to try to get them to play the way she wants them to play. But it just comes down to the players on the day, and that they are the ones letting her down. Yes, the have to take some of the blame because you're collecting the big bucks, obviously. But for me, the players are letting her down, and I think we are being a bit too harsh on her.
Ooh. Well, who is the big star on the team this year? The quiet achiever, as we call it, on the team this season for Mavericks. Actually, Brittany Clark. And why is not Brittany not on the court more? Look at Brittany's body, built for wear and tear. Get her out there. Get her. Let them try and get around her. They can't get around that girl. You know, and that girl can shoot.
But we have seen game where Brittany had to be taken off as well, especially. I think it was a game against Wasp earlier in the season. They had when she was up against Huckle. Huckle was all over her and they had to pull her. But with that said, she's in the team and she's behind Ina Marie Vent now. And Ina they played the last match. I think their season is over now, right?
Yes, literally.
Well, right. So Ina had a brilliant season. That girl, she was incredible.
You said she had a what?
She had an incredible season. She had a wonderful season for the time that she was on court. She was good for them. She was good for them, and sometimes she was shooting very well. Sometimes she took some ball that I didn't expect her to catch. And she really impressed me this season. Other than against that last game against Pulse where Kiva really got in her head. Other than that, she has been solid all season.
Wait. Well, no. What about the one when Vin Combo destroyed her to smithereens? You forgot that? Did you forget that? Come on now, don't let me go into my history books because I will dig deep.
Like the book laugh.
Intercepts outside of the circle.
Huh?
Now, most of those intercepts that Vin Kumbo got in that game against the Mavericks were outside of the
circle. Okay, I'm glad you said that. So if you see a goalkeeper, you're a shooter, Kurt. You are a shooter. Okay? Now let's put your shooting now still. Yeah. Let's roll your eyes because I'm going to put you now as a shooter. And as an international shooter, I'm going to put you to task now. So you see a goalkeeper who's marking you has disengaged and exited the circle and took some interception. She's done it once. He's done it once. He's done it twice. So what are you going to do? Or in the words of my French friends, qu'est-ce que tu fais? What are you going to do next? What are you going to do?
So I'm going to draw from a question. I'm going to draw from Carmella as again because she's one of the only shooters
No, Kurt.
really well.
The question is directed to you. The
Yes,
question is directed to you. I have taken 2 interceptions. So what are you now going to do to ensure that there won't be a third one? You are the goal shooter now. Okay? So what do? The viewers are waiting because they're listening and they're watching. So let me hear your answer and let the viewers hear it.
as a goal shooter,
What are you going to do?
first of all, if I'm playing, well, they wouldn't get the 1 or the 2 because right away I'm screening that goalkeeper from and protecting my midcourt. But in reality, it sounds easier saying it than actually doing it on court, especially Ina Marie being a goal shooter who is not just a holding shooter, she actually goes on the move. So sometimes she might be driving out to receive a ball and then the person decides to go cross court. There's nothing she can do about it at that time. So it's not like she's always in the circle and the goalkeeper is and Vinkumbo again is not a goalkeeper that stays on the body. So you see,
Okay.
if I was a goal shooter who would just stand in the circle and hold, then I would say, well, you need to protect the midcourt at all times.
You've said something very crucial. You've said something crucial here, right? So you've said Vinkomba is not a keeper that stays on the body. That is a crucial part of the evidence, Kurt. Crucial part of the evidence. So if you know, so how would you learn this, Kurt? Where would you learn this? Would you A, be watching her in previous games? Or 2, you'd be doing your homework? Would you be doing your homework on her?
Colin, if Vinkumbo is stepping out of the circle for an intercept, I'm the shooter, I'm alone in the circle by myself. You know that as well, right?
Of course. But
Right, so
if you know that that's our MO, what are you going to do to stop her from doing that?
Well, you can stop her. You can ask her the ball. You're going to be alone, so you say,
here too. Sometimes you send her going out there so the ball
so
can
you
come
can
straight
get the
to
ball, or you block her, depending on
you screen her to protect the quarter when you're there with her and you're real.
Mm-hmm.
And if she comes off of you wide, go wide and come around and start lurking outside, and hello, you probably move over some more so you have more space between you and her. And hi, I'm here.
This to say because some of those intercepts, a snail mail was sent, and even my grandmother could get them because Vinkumbo is there long before the ball is released. I would have sent him to contest them, but you know what? Let's move on. So we're going this and you guys are both of them. First of games in a row, Sirens got past Celtic Dragons 53-34, and as we said, Mavs beat Bart 46-35. Pulse got over Stars, a much improved Stars team, just 42-40. Then they came back the following day to get past Mavericks and end their semi-final hopes 46-33. And then the team that's looking unstoppable at the moment, and I'm calling it now, they are titles contender in my books. Thunder, they got past Lightning 60-46. Are you guys ready to call your finalists for 2021?
You mean yeah, man. Bath? No, sorry, scrap that. Well, can I do my hopes? I'm hoping the Rhinos can beat them. I'm hoping that the Rhinos can beat Bath. Is there a perfect world where that happens?
Well, no, it's not going to happen. Donald Wallen will not be playing.
Oh, she's going home for the funeral.
She's going home she recently had some bereavement. We want to extend from the show, from all our pundits here at FanJam would like to extend our sincere condolences to her and her family at this most difficult time. And I can understand, when there's a bereavement in your family, especially with someone who has been very close to her and has led and watched her through the years, and she's lost them, how devastating that must be. and especially when you're 10,000 miles away
Mm-hmm.
from home.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? We're gonna go with our blessings, and she's gonna be back with bigger and stronger.
I agree.
Absolutely. So it's Team Bath then. And boy, I really want Lightning to go through, but it's looking like it's Thunder. So
But
Bath and Thunder for the finals.
and who wins?
Um, Bath.
Colin, you being
I'm
on.
actually gonna go. I'm actually gonna go. I think Thunder will fall. Bath will fall at the final hurdle. I think they will
Mm.
because you have two of the masterminds in Karen Gregg and Tracy Neville
Tracy.
at the helm at coaching um, Thunder. So if anybody will find their solution, they will. But before we move on, I want to say kudos to Sirens this season. Sirens, led by Karen Atkinson, has dished out some superb netball this season. I mean, dish after dish, they fed us. I am losing. I tell you, I am overweight from all the food that they fed us this season. It was incredible.
Telling lie on side. That so guys, you know what's interesting about this, and Mavs, they got the better of Bath twice this season. The only team
Mhm,
Bath. So
mhm.
surely Bath, the Bath team took a bath before that match against with Mavs and Pulse, because had Mavs beat Pulse, they would be playing Bath in the semi-final.
Mhm, mhm.
See them
And because
surely.
of that, Ebony was excited because I think she was calling that game. And when Mavs lost,
Mhm,
she was just over the moon, like, oh my gosh, because they would be meeting them for a third time in the semifinals. That's so she was happy that wasn't
mhm.
happening.
Right. And yeah,
So
so
are you saying that it was fixed?
no,
No.
no.
We can say so. We
She
can
couldn't
say.
fix because Mavs wanted to
Uh,
win.
so
Yeah, Mavs wanted to win. So I don't
yes,
think she
but
was.
yes, very good competition, and I'm happy that it's coming down to the end now, because it's so much netball, it's so much netball across
Yes.
the league. So we're looking forward to that. So let's just quickly just with AFC. This week we saw some very close games. We saw Stars just getting across Pulse, Colin. Pulse is really finding some form.
Stars getting across Pulse.
Yes,
Yes,
they just beat Pulse.
yes.
The Pulse,
Yes. The
they
Stars.
go ahead.
Yeah, the Stars. I think are again. Sometimes they're frustrating a little bit because sometimes one week they're up there and then the other week they're flat and stuff. But remember, they in their competition because there's only what 6 teams. So
Yes.
they play each other quite a few times. So it's almost some of the games is almost like it's not. It's almost like it's not needed. It's a dead rubber. So
Mm,
they don't need to. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Um, because they've already cemented themselves in a position where they're going to be in the playoffs. So yeah,
Need to increase the numbers.
well, yeah, I suppose.
And then the other game, we saw Magic's put up quite a good fight against Mystics, and then still they got better tactics. And tactics was, of course, without their shooting star, Ellie Burge, who is out injured. And we are hoping that she'll be back soon, because tactics are looking the real treat this season.
Is she concussed? I think. Is she concussed?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's happening to
I
her.
think it's concussion. I think it is. I think it's a concussion that
Okay,
she
well,
she
if
had.
if it's that, she should be back soon.
Mhm.
So yeah, so some really good games, and of course, a question from social media this week. Is it in the form that Peta Tuyava is in? Can she make the Silver Ferns know that the Silver Ferns is short a shooter or two, and Grace Wiki might be called up? if Wiki makes the Silver Ferns, should it be automatic that Tuyava goes with her?
I think so. But even without Grace Wecker, she should be there because she's a unique wing attack. She brings something different. I think it was quite cruel to see on social media recently they were talking about her size. I mean, what size are we talking about? That girl is not a size. I think she looks like a size 10. Actually, I mean, what size are we talking about here? You know what I
Definitely
mean?
not my
So,
size.
you know what I mean? And this girl moves like I mean, her precision, her passing, her step
Mm.
change, her reading of the game, and is just second to none.
But the thing though, Colin, and I don't know, that Nolene has a distinct way in how she coaches and how her team play. They play like a stay, keep maintaining position,
Yes,
work
yeah.
the type of netball. Kuyava is not that type of player. Do you think this will affect
Hmm.
her Silver Fern chances?
Yes, yes. Because
Um,
as you rightly remember the last 2 minutes of the World Cup?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who could get the ball off the Silver Ferns then? I mean, there were 50 odd, 60 odd passes, just keep going back to the transverse line, back in a square, back, if their circle is
but
back
but
again.
but that's something that if good players, that's something that you can adapt to. So
Yes.
it's not that it's long. This is Nolene's way, and if you don't come like that, you won't be able to be a part of the team. That is
But the
something
thing
that
is,
she can adapt to, and if it is that she's talented and have the skills and have what us the Silver Ferns need, the basic things, then she can easily adapt to that style of a game.
the
I
only
think.
Simone, that's what sets her apart because
Uh,
if she used to play the regular style of possession netball, then we already have that in the Gina Cramptons and the Shannon Sanders. Um, so she would just be in line with them. But her
you never
flair
know.
deliver the ball to the shooter from anywhere on the court, as a matter of fact. I don't even want to say the goal third. Her vision is next level. And I mean,
So
even
she'll
getting the ball,
still have that vision though, Kurt. So I get what you're saying. If she changes, she'll be more like the rest.
she'll
But
just
the,
be more.
but the rest don't have the type of vision that she does.
They do, I
No.
wouldn't say
Oh,
they do. Look at players like Gina Crampton. Gina have a similar type of vision, but she just don't take the risk.
risk.
She don't
Okay,
take risks. No,
okay,
you're
okay.
correct. Gina
Yeah,
Crampton is one of the safest wing attacks in the world.
Yes,
She
yeah.
and but
is very basic,
effective. And she will
very,
deliver
very basic.
good passes,
Mm.
but it's so basic.
Mm.
Is
They well just
Tesco's. You
only
go to the
one.
bean section,
All right,
the
guys.
10p beans, the 10p beans.
Yeah. Let me be. So um, there's also some talks about her. Anya just mentioned it that there's some talks about her. I don't think those. I don't think. I think those are just rumors because this season she's looking very, very fit. And for me, Peta
Who is?
Tuya, the most defensive wing attacks in the business. She's all
Yes.
those defenders when they're trying to take the ball down the court. So all the best with Peta. I would love to see her in the black dress again because she already has one cap for the Silver Fern. I would love to see her in
She
the black
has.
again. So looking forward to that. So we only have 2 minutes left, guys. So if there's anything you want to know, now's the time. So in the meantime, Simone, can
George
you
Fisher.
George Fisher?
Let us discuss George Fisher.
All right, go ahead, Colleen.
She's lighting up the league. She's doing well. She's top scoring. She's actually the highest scoring goal shooter in the competition.
Not the highest score. I think she's the most accurate.
No, she's the highest. She scores. Has scored the highest amount of goals. Have you done
No,
your research?
no, I've done it without. Remember, this is the league that Grace Wicked plays in as well. You remember Grace Wicked, that girl that shoots for the Mystic?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I do. Yes, we do.
She's way out in front.
Are you sure about that from the last game?
All right, Colin, I'll send you to do the research this time. Thank God I'm the one hosting today. Simone,
And don't you forget it.
out in the lead. I'm trying to get Simone to bring up the rest of it so you guys can see. Jack is still out in the league. I'm in 7th place. Only
Off with his head.
first I'm counting Johnson in 1 place. Anya is in 3rd, and Simone is in 4th.
With Simone.
Not Simone, not you. Stacy. Sorry, Stacy. Stacey's in 4th. So it's getting closer because at one point Jack was out by 2,000 something points. And I'm in 7th. I'm just 800 points away. So you can imagine the persons above me are a lot closer. So it's really heating up halfway mark through the season. So let's see how long Jack can hold on for in the lead. Where's Colin by the way?
Because I'm at 10th. I'm in the top 10.
Colin is 10.
Oh, he's in 10.
I'm in the top 10.
I thought he got left off the list.
Oh, no. I'm doing well with the players that I've got.
Well, you
to maintain the top 10 position. I'm still in the playoffs.
So in zone A is A. Johnson, the Bolts. Zone E, Jack is A. Zone C is led by Anya Dale. Zone B by Nadia Hansen. And then Zone D by C. Campbell. So congratulations to those players who are leading their zone. And Jack, who is all the way out in front. Jack, we're coming from you. Don't get too comfortable. And
off with his head. Boil him in oil.
I'm not even in the game.
You're not even
in the game. I know. Thanks, Misha. My birthday's Sunday, and I'm getting birthday greetings already. Thanks, Misha. I'm not even participating in this discussion. You know, I did all the way down at 16. We're 16. So I'm not even for now. Don't get too it's we're just halfway. So by 3/4 way, I should be 5th.
I share your optimism.
Oh my God.
I love it. All right, guys. So thank you for joining us for another episode. It was great to have you viewers online. And of course, it was a pleasure sharing the stage with Colin and Simone tonight. You guys were awesome as usual. Looking forward to next week already. And
yes, we are.
Next week, some extra special. So
be sure to yes.
Go over to YouTube, like, share, subscribe, comment, share the page to your YouTube. Remember, Colin and I need Simone as well. So you guys need to support us. We want to be here to deliver the best netball. So give us that support.
Please go to YouTube and subscribe to the channel.
Yes, please, and keep us online. If you love us, keep us online.
There you go. Bye-bye.
From London. Bye. Bye-bye.